Hey gamers, if you don't like Souls-like games that feel slow and heavy as hell, then yeah, this video is exactly what you've been looking for. Yup, in this video we will discuss a list of 15 recommended Souls-like games with combat that test your skills to the limit, and not just that. The gameplay is full-on pace combat as well, and if you still keep dying on easy levels and frequently rage quitting, then you might want to skip this video. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Coming in at number 1, we've got Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Honestly, this is a criminally underrated Souls-like with fast-paced combat. Barely anyone talks about this game, and that's kinda messed up. Like seriously, people either don't know it exists or just ignore it, which is wild because it's made by Team Ninja and the combat is fast, aggressive, and fun as hell. You've also got a ton of classic Final Fantasy shit in here, from enemies to bosses, and everything looks cool as hell with some really slick design. Now the gameplay, this is where it gets really damn good. The combat system is solid as fuck. You can run 2 jobs at once and switch between them in real time, which opens up a ton of playstyles. And the job system, deep, addictive, and just straight up fun to mess around with. But yeah, not everything is perfect. The equipment system is kind of a pain in the ass. The loot feels random as hell, barely matters, and gets replaced so damn fast that you stop caring. Most players just hit auto-optimize and call it a day without giving a shit.
Still a ways to go. Come on.
Darksiders 3 isn't the same Darksiders you loved before, but it's still that badass world of order versus chaos. Even though this game is part of a series, the story is fairly standalone. Timeline doesn't directly continue from the first game, so you can still follow it without knowing the previous entries in detail. All you really need to understand is the basic concept. There are 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and here you play as Fury, who's given the mission to hunt down the 7 deadly sins. The rest of the story is explained gradually through dialogue and your journey. Of course, if you've played the earlier games, some moments and characters will hit harder, but if you haven't, it's not a problem at all. You can still understand the story and enjoy the game just fine. The game isn't very long, and once you finish it, there isn't much reason to replay it, so it's best experienced as a one-time playthrough. Enjoy it, finish it, and move on. For those who didn't know, there's a Souls-like that actually uses guns as its main weapons. Yeah, you seriously gotta play Remnant II. The world's been completely fucked over by these creepy-ass creatures called the Root, and you play as a survivor just trying not to die while searching for your missing friend. Your main base is Ward 13, a small hub where you handle all your shit, upgrading gear, crafting, and getting ready before throwing yourself back into the chaos. What makes it even cooler is that the story isn't some straight-line bullshit. Every playthrough can be different because the game shuffles events and areas around, so yeah, your experience might be totally different from someone else's. The gameplay. It's fun as hell. Combat is fast, brutal, and demands sharp reflexes. Mess up your timing for even a second and you're dead. Simple as that. So yeah, you better figure out a solid build unless you want to get absolutely destroyed by enemies. And the best part, you can play it co-op, and you already know that shit is gonna be chaotic and fun as hell. Before we go into the list, I want to tell you about my favorite place to buy games, and that's Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an awesome site for grabbing games at great prices. Not only they always have fantastic discounts, but also they running giveaways you won't want to miss. Seriously, these deals are hard to beat. Where else are you gonna find prices this good? Why pay full price when you can grab the same game for way less, right? Yeah, you can shop for games on all kinds of platforms, like PC, PS5, Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch. There are also numerous convenient products to enhance your gaming experience, such as subscriptions, gift cards, and many more. No worries, it's 100% legit, fast, and super easy to use, and their support team is available 24/7. So what are you waiting for? Go check out your favorite games by using the link in the description below and start saving your cash with Instant Gaming. And by using my link, you're not just getting awesome deals, but also supporting this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list.
We need to act now, before it's too late. Come on.
Once again, another fast-paced Souls-like game from Team Ninja. This time, it's Rise of the Ronin. This game promises a mix of open-world exploration, stealth assassinations, and intense combat set during Japan's Bakumatsu era. When it comes to gameplay, the open world is pretty solid, though not perfect. Maps like Yokohama, Edo, and Kyoto look great with varied landscapes that are nice to explore. Now for the combat, this is the main highlight. True to Team Ninja's style, the combat system is fast, brutal, and super satisfying. The Kai stamina mechanic is at the core of everything. You need to carefully manage your attack timing, dodges, and parries. The parry system is especially important since landing it at the right moment can completely turn the tide of a fight. Stealth also plays a big role here. In fact, the game often pushes you to play more tactically and quietly rather than just going in guns blazing. Amid the flood of Souls-like games that tend to lean into dark themes, Another Crab's Treasure immediately stands out as something different. It takes you into an underwater world filled with satire and unique characters. Here you play as a reclusive hermit crab trying to reclaim its lost shell, and jumping straight into its unique features, you can either dodge attacks or retreat into their shell to block, which ends up being the most effective defensive mechanic. However, every hit you take will straight up wreck your shell. Once it breaks, you'll need to quickly find a replacement or you're screwed. Thankfully, the game is pretty generous when it comes to shells, and there's even an insurance system that ensures your favorite shells remain available to use, so you're not completely helpless. In Lords of the Fallen version 2.5, the combat does feel faster, but it still has that classic Souls-like weight, movement is a bit heavy, and stamina management still matters, so yeah, you can't just spam dodge whenever you want. The main selling point of this game is still the dual world system between Axiom and Umbral. This mechanic remains really solid even after dozens of hours. You can actually see the world shift in real time, paths that were broken suddenly become whole, or the other way around. It makes exploration feel less like just moving forward and more about thinking and paying attention. The Soul Flay ability is also really fun to use, whether it's for crowd control or tossing enemies off cliffs. There's also co-op, which is easily one of the most fun features here. Unlike most Souls-likes that kick you out after beating a boss, this one lets you keep exploring together without interruption. Wolong Fallen Dynasty is a Souls-like set in the Three Kingdoms era with a dark fantasy twist. You'll run into famous figures like Cao Cao and Liu Bei, who fight alongside you as allies. The game has a unique morale rank system. Basically, the higher your rank, the stronger your character is within a level. This creates a solid risk versus reward vibe, especially when going up against enemies that are higher level than you. With a lower overall difficulty and systems that make things easier for players, this game is perfect if you want to get into Souls-like games without getting too frustrated when your emotions hit hard.
Situation is under control. Let the music play.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor is a sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, released in 2019. In this game, you continue the journey of Cal Kestis, a young Jedi Knight fighting against the tyranny of the Galactic Empire. From a gameplay perspective, Survivor retains a Souls-like formula that emphasizes patience, learning enemy patterns, and dealing with the consequences of every mistake. However, it introduces noticeable improvements, particularly in exploration and traversal. Movement feels faster and more responsive, with additions such as wall running, grappling, and more dynamic jumping, compared to games like Jedi Academy or The Force Unleashed. The freedom in using the Force feels somewhat limited and may not feel as satisfying during combat as some players might expect. Even so, the game remains highly worthwhile, especially for fans of Star Wars. If you're really a gamer who's straight and not into that kind of thing, then you should definitely play Stellar Blade. From the gameplay side, Stellar Blade offers a fun combination of Souls-like and hack-and-slash action, but don't get it wrong, this isn't a game you can just button mash your way through like a clueless player. You also need to understand timing, especially with the parry and dodge system. Even on easy mode, there's still a level of challenge that forces you to actually learn the mechanics or get punished. For those who want to try a Souls-like but are afraid it might be too complicated, this game is a great entry point. It takes inspiration from the genre but doesn't go fully hardcore, making it more accessible and not overly punishing. And there are plenty of cosmetic features. You can unlock various outfits, hairstyles, and even accessories for the main character. I know what your tastes are like. While some are just for style, others make the character look cooler and sexier. And that's one of the things that makes this game personally fun.
Hey, over there. It looks like the soul generator still works.
There's a new Souls-like game that's already making waves amidst the crowded 2025 game lineup, Wuchang Fallen Feathers. It offers fast-paced, responsive, and dynamic combat. You play as Wuchang, an amnesiac fighter under a curse. You must survive, discover your true identity, and find a way to heal before you turn into a monster. The combat itself is multi-layered. You can switch between two weapons mid-fight, even in the middle of a combo. There's also a resource called Skyborn Might, which is earned through perfect dodges or weapon-specific mechanics and can be used to unleash powerful skills without draining stamina. However, some late-game bosses can be so challenging as to be frustrating, especially since the dodge window is very narrow and there is no clear reward system as in other Souls-like games. Even so, this remains one of the most challenging, fast-paced Souls-like games. Wukong is one of the most pleasantly surprising games in the Souls-like genre. Rather than being just another frustratingly difficult game in the genre, it is a compact, exciting, and spectacular action RPG. In terms of gameplay, Wukong definitely has that Souls-like vibe. You'll find classic mechanics such as reading enemy attack patterns, managing stamina, and using healing items. However, this game is more forgiving and isn't as brutal as most Souls games. The combat is responsive, smooth, and satisfying. The combination of light and heavy attacks and dodging feels great to execute. The biggest highlight, of course, is the boss fights. The game is packed with varied and memorable bosses, ranging from mythological creatures to massive monsters with unique abilities. Yes, every battle feels like a test of skill and a puzzle to solve. Next up, Lies of P, a Souls-like game that won the MAC Game of the Year award. Its DLC, Overture, won the Excellence and Technical Creativity Awards at the 2025 Korea Game Awards. With a combat system that encourages aggressive play, it's no surprise that this game feels like a blend of Bloodborne and Sekiro. Shadows die twice. Mechanics such as stagger, perfect guard, and counterattacks make every battle feel intense and satisfying. A particularly notable system is the guard regain mechanic and stamina management. If you take damage while in a guard stance, you can regain some HP by immediately counterattacking. This encourages you to keep pushing forward rather than constantly retreating. Then again, the game's stamina system is quite strict. So if you mismanage it, you might run out of stamina at a crucial moment. This makes gameplay high pressure, especially when fighting bosses. In third place, we have Nioh 3. This game is basically a complete package that shows off Team Ninja's current strengths. Their DNA from the Ninja Gaiden series is still very much present, but it's wrapped in Nioh's signature style, which leans more toward the Souls-like genre. In this third installment, there's a new feature that makes combat even more flexible. You can instantly switch between samurai and ninja fighting styles with just one button. Combined with a wide range of skills and the option to customize your weapons, this gives you total freedom to play however you like. Also, Nioh 3 starts trying out a bigger world design with the open field concept. It's not quite a fully open world without loading screens yet, but the scale is way bigger than in previous games. The combat is still one of the most addictive, fast-paced, and offers a challenging difficulty level, but that's precisely what makes it so exciting, because with so many upgrade options and build paths, you always have a way to grow and overcome the challenges ahead.
お待たせ。うまくできたよ。
Since From Software's Dark Souls series popularized the genre, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is frequently referred to as a Souls-like game because of its difficult gameplay, emphasis on precise combat, and focus on learning enemy attack patterns and fast-paced combat. Why isn't it considered Soulsborne? Because it lacks essential RPG components that are characteristic of the Soulsborne series, such as character customization, build variety, and stat progression. It features responsive combat where you learn and react to each enemy attack, but adds its own twist with mechanics like deflecting, the posture system, quick movement, jumping, and stealth. So yeah, that's why Sekiro is generally categorized as a Souls-like game. The final showdown with the boss is, of course, the most memorable part of the game, with its intense action and excitement. But with all the experience you've gained, you'll eventually be able to get past it. That final moment isn't just about winning, it's about the long journey that finally pays off. And number 1 for fast-paced Souls-like combat goes to the first Berserker Khazan. This game seriously doesn't fuck around. Even if you're already used to Souls-likes, the difficulty still hits like a truck. For comparison, it instantly brings up Sekiro. Both demand insanely tight parry and dodge timing. So yeah, it's not just about being strong, your reflexes better be sharp as hell. The combat is fast, brutal, and straight up fucking addictive. You'll be dodging like crazy, chaining combos, and smashing enemies with heavy hits non-stop. But the moment you step into a boss fight, yeah, welcome to hell. These bosses hit like absolute monsters, and they will punish the shit out of every mistake you make. But even when you lose, you still earn resources to level up, and the better you perform during the fight, the bigger the reward you get. So yeah, even failure feels kinda worth it. And yeah, this list is just my personal take. What do you think? Agree or nah? And that's it for today. Those were lists of top 15 best Souls-like games with fast-paced combat that you should play. Got a hidden gem I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or discovered a new title to add to your collection, feel free to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss future content. Once again, if you want to buy games with cheap price, the link in the description, okay? Alright then, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.